Chelsea Hardy with Shine Don't Run, episode 35. Nobody has abused you more than you've abused yourself. And today, this excerpt that I'm going to be discussing comes out of the book, The 4 Agreements. I know that I've discussed this book before, and I'm in the process of attempting another time to read it because I tend to always start books and never finish them. Another thing that I am going to stop procrastinating and get done. And this excerpt from this book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, is so powerful to me, and it was something that I really wanted to share with you today. What he says is that in your whole life, nobody has abused you more than you've abused yourself. And the limit of your self-abuse is exactly the limit that you will tolerate from somebody else. And I want you to think about that, and I want you to let that sink in, is that the limit of abuse that you tolerate is no more than you abuse yourself. So if somebody abuses you a little bit more than you abuse yourself, you will probably have no issue with walking away from that person or from that situation. But if they abuse you even just a little bit less than you abuse yourself, that's something that you will more than likely stick around and tolerate. And it is something that, as I am embracing and accepting and doing my best to elevate in my life, that is one area that I realize that I really need to work on, is the self-talk that I have towards myself. And when it comes to the negative connotations that I have, or the negative things that go on in my head, that's something that I cannot tolerate. That when we start to really validate and value ourselves, because that is something that I keep hearing over and over and over again, is that we really need to dive in and learn how to fall in love with ourselves. We really need to dive in and learn how to validate ourselves, because there is absolutely no way that we are going to be able to validate or love anybody else until we truly learn how to do it to ourselves, right? And so when we learn how to love and validate ourselves, there isn't going to be that horrible negative self-talk. There won't be that self-abuse that you would have towards yourself. And so therefore, it's not something that you are going to allow or tolerate in your life, right? That's not something that you are going to allow anywhere near you, in your circle, in your relationships, in your work environment. And drawing that line, that boundary, that very healthy boundary for yourself, to know that that is not something at all that should be a part of your life, because abuse is not healthy in any form. It is not healthy. And that is something that I continue to tell myself, is that when I get down on myself and, you do the, oh, I wish I was younger, or I wish I were here, or I wish that I could have done this differently, whatever that is, that negative self-talk, that is something that is going to open a door to allow others to do unto you, and you are going to accept it. So today, however that is, some people like the positive affirmations, some people like the meditation, some people, there's so many different ways that we really can learn how to value and validate ourselves. One of the biggest things that I've really realized is to really take a good hard look at myself, like in the mirror, and find at least 3 to 5 things that I am really grateful for and that I really like about myself, and say those things out loud. And again, everybody's different. Maybe that won't work for you. That's something that's worked for me, is to really look at myself, like really look at myself the way that I would look at somebody else, and tell myself the things that I like about myself. Not just like, oh, I can tolerate this and this is okay, but really truly love about who I am. And so not only do I encourage you to do that to yourself today, but I encourage you to do that for somebody else, because we have no idea, like I feel like I talk about in all of my videos, the impact that has towards somebody else that might be having a really rough day or a really hard time and just needs to hear how special that they are. Really evaluate what's in your belief system, because when we tolerate the self-abuse, that's part of what's in our belief system, that it's okay and it's not okay. So thank you for celebrating episode 35 with me to commemorate the year of being halfway to 70 for me. Yay! Again, I'm going to just embrace it and accept it and know that there are so many good things to come. Tune in next week for another episode from me for our Motivational Monday. Again, this is Chelsea Hardy with Shine Don't Run, episode 35. I hope all of you have an extremely blessed week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. Mwah. Have a good night. Bye-bye.